Hey, what's up and welcome to the garage. Today I'm going to be doing probably a long play video of replacing the clutch in this car. So come along with me on who knows what is gonna happen. Besides the clutch. The clutch is gonna happen, but I don't know. I might tell you guys some dastardly tales, some deeds. And you might learn something. So without further ado, let's get our hands dirty. So the first things we need to do is get under the hood and remove everything up here, because I need to get to the starter and I need to get to the wiring harness and the upper bolts for the transmission. So let's start tearing that apart. Alright, so WRX has a turbo and the intercooler's in our way, so let's pull that thing out. Boom, 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 boom. Try to align my bolts to where I can relate to where they go back in later. Alligator, perpetrator, see you later. What is the best way to get this all apart? I don't know, let's see, we also got some breather hoses here that look like they need to get removed. But maybe if I take off this little bracket that's not a 12, it's 10. I need a new glasses prescription. Maybe I'll bust in some contacts. Would you guys recognize me? That way you guys can see my big blues. Hill Street blues. Oh, I need some new shoes. Working shoes. Do you guys have a work shoe you recommend? I mean, I generally like tennis shoes because they're lightweight and soft. I know I should be wearing like steel toes, but man, dragging around heavy boots is just not my thing. Not that I'd be in here wearing sandals, but I think you guys get my drift. But this concrete floor is super hard. Man, there's 3 of these things, and I think it's messing up my knees. Do you guys feel that when you're walking around and working on hard surfaces like just straight up concrete? I don't know. I'm in my mid to late 30s. So, oh yeah, there's a hose down there that needs to come off. Can you guys see okay? Should I get a light in here? A light. So remove the hose clamps. Let's see if we have some success here. I think I'm loose, but stuff is still just tight. Maybe if I loosen the other throttle body hose clamp, it'll give me the wiggle room that I need. Wow, that was not very tight. So this clutch is slipping pretty fiercely. There we go. That helped quite a bit. Now we're just on this turbo boot down here. And a wiggle and a jiggle can make the night complete. It seems like it's on there pretty good. Maybe a long pick tool to go around it can help out if that's what's keeping it stuck on there. Yeah, the hose clamp is nice and loose. Come on, buddy. Alright, so struggling with this hose. I think I got it loose, but it won't pull off there, and I'm tired of struggling with it. So I've never done this before, but I'm gonna pull it off at the intercooler. So hopefully that doesn't have any other consequences, like another seal that I need to get for the job. Which reminds me, I should get the manifold bolts, because the exhaust has to come down on this car when I do the clutch. Another thing that hurts my knees is bending over like this. Let's see, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Yeah, when I lean over the car, it's a lot of strain on my knees, it feels like. I can only handle so much of that in a day. Rawr! Time to get out the little devil. Little Diablo here. Let's see, so looking for a 12 milli for Shelly, cheesy, and a reasonably long extension. Let's see if this works for us. Oh, it leaks a lot. Okay. Please. Quiet, you. All right. If there's another bolt on here, I'm gonna be pissed. There probably is like a bracket or something. Why are you still sticking there, buddy? All right, gasket. Put that near the bolt so I don't have to fuss with that. All right, let's have a look with the flashlight then. Yikes, just really had to struggle with that. But I just pushed it off with a pry bar. So I think we're free and clear. Yep. And let's see. Off to the side it goes. Now we can see what's going on under here. We got to take off the torque mount. Here's our L turbo, and let's see. Wiring harness. Start. There we go. That's better. So yeah, clutch hydraulic needs to come off. The slave cylinder. This bracket needs to come off, and the torque mount and the starter is down there, and then the upper bolts here, and the starter bolts, and this ground wire has a bracket that goes onto the upper bolt. Let's see what's next. Wow, that thing is tight. Let's loosen up this one as well. I don't think there's any torque on it, but keeping the hardware together. And it's got an arrow on the top, well, and the bottom that faces forward. It's pretty symmetrical, but this was at the bottom, so I'll try to keep it that way. I'll leave you in there. So now that that is out of the way, wow. Looks like the starter needs to come out before the clutch hydraulics on this car. Also want to get this out of my way, the dipstick. But we can go ahead and disconnect these connectors here. With lots of hand strength. It takes so much energy to disconnect some of these plugs. You're gonna have to dedicate yourself. Squeeze and pull. Alright. So that's everything for the wiring besides this ground over here. Now, let's go ahead and take these two upper bolts out from the transmission, because one of those bolts is the starter bolt. And, oh, they're tight. It's so hard. Really? Christ on a bike. This car is a little bit rusty, but definitely crack these loose with hand tools. Big long bolts that I don't think this transmission's ever been out. This thing's about 100,000 miles and the clutch is slipping under boost. The pedal is uber high. There's one of the upper bolts. Big long bastard. So when you take out the upper left bolt, I guess would say, it goes through this ground wire into the transmission, also through the starter. Speaking of starter, I guess now is a good time to disconnect the battery, because I'm going to take off the positive lead of the starter. So I'm going to take off the ground wire. The ground. Here. Make sure that thing doesn't come back and make contact. Now I can pop off the boot. Gotta peel it back to access the 12mm nut. Also, while we're here, there's the exciter wire. And just a quick wiggle jiggle and a squeeze, I believe, should have that thing out. Oh, the struggle is real. Alright, I got those wires off, and you just really have to squeeze the crap out of them and give them everything you have, and they squeeze and come loose. Now it's time to do this bottom bolt. And the bottom bolt, I usually do from underneath, but since you guys love to watch me struggle, I'm going to try to get it out from above and pull the starter out. From above, most likely. So, here comes the Subframe. And yeah, it's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna drop tools. Oh, I think it's loose already. Did you hear that? That's me dropping shit. This is a constant. This is a constant. See it happen, make it happen, right? So if I see it not dropping, maybe then it won't happen. Is that the philosophy I should carry? Let's see if it's loose. Oh, it's moving. Yeah, this is my workout for the day. I'm actually getting pretty hot. It's cold outside, but I turned the heater on, so it feels good and warm in here. And now that I'm shaking and wiggling. Can you feel that? It really generates some heat. That's my heater. And if I get really cold, then I'll do some jump roping. I say that and then I never do it. Do you guys have health plans, work diets? Work diets, what am I even saying? This whole talking to myself thing is just a little cringy, I'm sure. Especially today. I'm just not in the zone. You can probably tell. It's the best way to get to that guy. Should have an adapter. Where are you? There it is. An adapter for a 3/8, a quarter, so that I can use this. Do you guys have days like this where you're just not in a good place mentally? I really shouldn't share that with you guys, but it's true. I'm a bit flustered and upset, and this happens to me quite a bit because I am in a tumultuous relationship with a gal. Anyway, oh, I got the starter out. There's some good news. And yeah, it comes out the front. Now I can access the bolts to the slave cylinder for the clutch. But yeah, being with this girl is a real roller coaster ride. And it seems like it is definitely over. But how many times have I said that? I told you guys about that a long time ago in one of my videos where I just casually said it, that I'm having trouble with the girlfriend. But that is a thing that happens quite a bit. And I should know better. I should have learned. But I cannot let go of this one. It's just not. Even it gets so just like retarded and ridiculous. Just nonsense, you know, the fighting. The expectations, you know, they're high on both ends. And we're just not satisfying each other. I mean, not like that. We're definitely satisfying each other like that, but you know, thinking about a future. One and two, they can stay together. And I like to just get this out of the way. There is a little spring that y'all might not be able to see that I can try to set up for you. Right here on the fork. And that can stay in there, but we need homeboy here to get out of the way and stay out of the way. So it looks like he will be fine right there, because this is all coming out, and there's usually really tight clearance here from the turbo to the bell housing there. But I think that does it. Let's see. Just take out this heat shield and everything. Maybe not. Probably though. I probably have to take off all this exhaust heat shield stuff up here, but I think I just want to go hard downstairs, get these axles out, get the driveline out, get some stress off my chest. Let's do it. Yarr. All right, let's get some shit done. My goal for this video is to make this the longest video that I've ever made. Let's see if YouTube lets me upload it. And the most depressing video that I've ever made. Oh, that made me kind of smile. Which is just what I need. Is a little smile. Let's see how long it lasts. See how much back talk I get from this damn car. Axle nuts. The axle nuts have to come off. And I just always go like this. Because I never remember the size. I just go, alright, probably, what's this? A 32. Bingo. A little satisfaction when I guess it right. I'm not one of those people that knows everything. Like I can tell you, I know this and this and this. I always say, I guess, or probably, and that's a lot of my philosophy. It's about that. You know, once you think you know something, that's when it screws you over. Because that's what happens to me. It takes a lot for me to go, hey, I know what I'm talking about in this subject matter. And that's dangerous because I always try to shove it down people's throats at that point. I'm like, no, you have no idea. Let me just keep explaining this to you until I'm blue in the face and you're mad at me. Man, are you guys my counselor or my psychiatrist? I should sit on a couch and tell you guys all my life's problems. Thanks for putting up with me. All right, I got the axle nuts off. I'm gonna take these through bolts off through the lower ball joints. Those are 14s. That's a 12. Where's my deep 14 at? There it is. I'll use my adapter. Put it on my gun. I'll bust two of them out right quick. Smoke show. AKA rusty dust. Don't breathe that. Don't breathe it in. Alright, so now it's time to pop the ball joints out. I'm gonna get old Betsy over here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is old Betsy. And she does good hard work for me. You know, she's a little bigger than the average one, but that just makes her work that much harder. You know what I'm saying? So we just pop these ball joints out, maybe? Nobody likes to back talk old Betsy. And when they do, it doesn't last that long. Alright. So now the axles is free from the hubs, but we need to free it from the transmission here. And there's these little pins. So I have a special punch just for that. It's an uppercut. No, it's not. So I just pop them right out. And down it comes. One more. And they go in one way. You put the axle in 180 off, and then that hole is drilled out just slightly off, and it'll ruin your day. So make sure you eyeball or run a punch through there before you put your pin back in to avoid headaches. So now the axles should just pop right out. Oh, I might have to air hammer these out, but sometimes they just pull out. Get out the air hammer and give it a little love. I do this because I love you. It's going to hurt me more than it hurts you. Here we go. There's the left axle. CVs look good, boots look good. The OEM axles are the way to go. So rebooting them is what I suggest, because I've had brand new axles that I put in and they've clicked. That's not awesome. No sir. I don't like it. It's kind of a Ren and Stimpy thing. No sir. I don't like it. I think that's a Ren and Stimpy thing. Okay, so. Yep, looks like all those heat shields have to come out. But we got the axle out. What we're gonna have to do is pull this exhaust down. And that's why this job sucks. That's the next thing, is pulling the exhaust down. So heat shields off, exhaust down, drive line out. Then it's back to the transmission. All right, so we got to get the heat shields off to get to the bolts for the exhaust. So those are 12, not 14. And just gonna pop this guy off. Keep the hardware with it. Yeah, that's the ticket. And then it's all rusty, so I don't know if this is gonna go back on. I'm thinking some of these bolts are gonna actually shear off. Is that too noisy for you? I'm so sorry. That one I can hit with the gun. And here comes that moment I was telling you about when it just shears the bolt right off. Wow, we got it. And now it won't come out of the socket. Yeah. Give me that. Who else do we have here? Two guys on the side over here. Yep. Got another one. How many are there? Too many, I'll tell you what. There's one more here on the side. Oh my God, that's rough. I tell you, when you're doing a bolt by hand, it could never come out fast enough. Never. You're just sitting there getting frustrated, like, are you out yet? Come on, you bastard. You're a fastener. Unfasten. Let's see how long this video is. It's gonna be a while if I do the whole damn job. I mean, because I can't. I'll probably snip some stuff out of here. Oh, there's two more way down in there that are just like next to impossible. I gotta get a wrench in there. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Wow. Access to these two down here are by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Did you know chin chin in Japanese means penis? What you do now, try to forget it. God, they're so rusty. And with this limited access, it really tests. Oh, yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead because this is just gonna be me bitching and complaining about rusty bolts and no access to. Oh my god. And there's two of them. How wonderful. Okay, one of these side ones actually sheared off, which was a good thing. It's a really good thing. But oh, we got one left, and it's got so much resistance that it's bending stuff. Oh, this is a nightmare. It's gonna break too. I'm almost sure of it. I'm surprised that last one was the first one to break, because they're just rough the whole way. Can't remember where this guy's from. Shout out to Topher though, that's his name. Topher. Oh yeah, because his name is Christopher. And he prefers to go by Topher. Topher. Pretty unique dude, I like him a lot. Really happy guy, happy-go-lucky guy, but good sense of humor. Him and his girlfriend. Great senses of humor. It's nice getting to know your customers, and that's probably my favorite thing about my job, is that I get to work directly with my customers, who in turn become my friends, or vice versa. You know, I get to work on my friends' cars. So it's a lot different than, you know, like a dealership life or something like that. And I'm really lucky that I'm off the grid and I don't have people who are just on, you know, stopping in on the side of the road. Hey, I got a flat tire, you know, and stuff like that. I got $10 and my car don't start. Holy moly. There's still one more attached somewhere. That is keeping me from my destiny. Yay. Happy birthday to me. I'm gonna spray those with rust off right now, all these fasteners around the turbo. So I will grab my blaster, PB penetrating, PB blaster. This is the stuff I'm using today. And that's gonna smell real nice when I start this engine up. One more. Give that a minute. Grab some more hand tools. And try not to destroy anything. Wish me luck. Good luck, Noah. Oh my God. That was such a little slice of heaven right there. Let's get this guy up too. How are these being so friendly? I am I hope they were all like that. I mean, they were like wrist tight. Well, there's still, I think, 3 more to go, but god damn, that's a good start. God damn, that's a good start. So, how many more can I get from up top? Looks like those 2 I can get from up top. Let's get the wrench out. With the stubby 14, the ratchet. Did I say wrench? The hand tool out. Actually, that one's not going to fit there. So, more heavenly sent luck here. I've had these things, these turbo flange bolts have given me such pain and suffering in the past, but man, my day is turning around. Look at that. Got another one. And another one. I think there's like one more from underneath. And then we are solid gold, playa. Alright, so the last one is under here. Sometimes the last one is the hardest because it's holding all the pressure of the fittings together. Do I have that little space to get this pulled out? Do I have not the right size socket on here? What's going on? Am I just ridiculous? There we go. Everything is just... You're so kind to me, Subaru. You can also be a pain in my... Yes. Alright, there's the last bolt. For that, then we have another 14 that's right here. And some hangers in the back, so I'll come back here with my pry bar, release some of these hangers, hold it up with my tranny jack, and then pull this off and set it aside all by my lonesome. Alright, so I think I have everything apart. I got the oxygen sensor loose and off. I got the bolt off. There's a little hook right here that's on the back of the transmission, and the bolt goes through, but the hook still holds the exhaust. And then this is the last mount, and then I have my tranny jack here after pulling off the rubber mounts on all the ends. And there's also a rubber mount here. The last one is here, so I'm going to pull that one off. Then I should be able to unhook this and then lower it down with the tranny jack all by my lonesome. So let's see how that goes. And if I drop it, it'll be hilarious, right? Unless it breaks. These rubber pieces are so much fun. Here's my hook tool that I like to use to pull these off. Alright, now we should be free. Free at last. Okay, so once it comes off here, it also needs to come out of the studs, which is also much fun. Let's see if we can make this a reality. Ooh. So I got it off that hook, but it's still so tight, and if I push back, it's going to push back on that bracket, which might be okay if I use enough force on the exhaust. Let's see if that's possible. Ooh. feel about this. I'll give it a shot before I... Yeah, that's just not gonna fly. I can bend the bracket back, maybe. Longest video ever. I don't think that's gonna help too much. More prying. Here it goes. Hello. Hello. Ooh, and that doesn't look good. Walk with me, baby. I could have done more to make that safer, like put that chain on. Let's start lowering this down. Ooh. Hey, can you guys come help me? Yeah. One, two. All right, we got it. Crisis averted. So now what's next is the training mount, drive line. This thing's gonna be out in a minute. Yeah. All right, so let's remove the subframe. So I'm gonna hold up the training. Booyah cow. And then it'll be a bunch of 14s. I think these are 19s or 17s. 17s and 19s maybe. Oh, here's a 19. Those are 17s. Man, I wonder if I can stream stuff like this. Maybe that's a thing. Let me know what you think, if that's a thing. I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that. A live stream? I've seen people do it recently. It's been pretty cool to watch. Ooh, we got a hot one. We got a hot one. That stuff coming through. In the pile. Drive line I think I can just set aside. Let's see. Let's see. Is it gonna slide out of there? And is fluid gonna come out? Oh no, I have to take apart the rear end back here to get the driveline out. So let's move back here. All right, so this plate has to come off. Why many crickets? Thank you. Last one. Okay, so I guess it's story time. Let's see, how do I start the tale? Well, if you saw my last story, this story is not that intense. It's not that dastardly. It might be as intense, because it actually happened to me personally. So I'll try to drum it up, and hopefully it'll be entertaining. But it was pretty crazy to me. I was in Japan. Let's start there. I was in Japan on a day not unlike today. It was around this time of year, and I was at a restaurant bar with a friend, and we were sitting there eating, and there was a family behind us. Let's see, it was a guy in his mid-40s and a gal and her, whatever, and then like a 12-year-old boy or something. And they were eating and carrying on and having a good old time. I think they were drinking, because the dude was laughing it up. They were all laughing it up. Everything was funny. And I was like, good for them. But they're probably drinking, and quite a bit, because it wasn't just laughing, it was over the top. So we went on with our meal, and these people got there before us, and they were finishing up at some point. And the next thing I know, they're at the register, which, let me describe it to you. You walk down a hall, and there's these long stairs, and there's like bamboo along the sides, and it's kind of underground, this place. And then you come in, you open the door, and there is the reception desk. And then you turn right, you walk down a hall, and then I was sitting along the wall with my buddy, and eating like at a bar style, and then the table where they were was right behind us. Anyway, these guys had walked up to the main area, and they're starting to yell. I mean, the guy is the Japanese dude. He's obviously unhappy. It makes me turn my head a couple of times. Like he's and I'm like, I don't know what that's about whatsoever. And seriously, I'm just trying to mind my business, but it continues, and it gets, my God, so much worse. He's fucking yelling like a Japanese movie or something, like he's raging over there. He's raging, and I'm like, what's going on? Oh, the greatest part, there's a guy sitting, we're sitting along the wall. There's a guy sitting at the end of where you can actually sit, reading his paper. He doesn't even look over. I'm looking over, I'm like, what's the big deal? What's the ruckus? And this dude, he could give a flying fuck less about what's going on over there. But I'm talking serious yelling. The guy was bothering me. He was ruining my dinner. I was not hungry after this went on for a couple minutes. And I'm like, what are they saying? Because my buddy understands a little bit. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. He's having a problem with his bill, I think. And I look over, and the dude is popping the wait staff on the head. He's like, you know, I mean, he's hitting them. He's bothering my meal, and he's attacking the staff, which, I mean, they're young, you know. He would rightly have seniority over them, but this is just a business. And I'm looking around. I'm like, who's gonna help, you know, this situation? And the wait staff and the people who are getting popped in the head are just like trying to talk to him and just yes, you know, you know, sorry or whatever. Excuse me, wait. But they're not doing anything except for just like they're taking it. They are taking it so hard from this guy. And when I saw him hitting them, you know, giving them good pops on the head, and the rage just seemed to build, I was like, this guy is out of control. And I'm not a hero or a badass or anything, but during this time I was doing some CrossFit, so I was pretty proud of myself. And nobody else was doing shit. And I was just like, this is not flying. This guy has to leave. I gotta at least go see what's going on. See if there's anything I can do to help, you know. So I walked over. And as I'm walking, I mean, his wife is trying to hold him back, you know. She's literally like grabbing him, like, you know, and his wife was tiny. You know, I'm 6'3", and I'm like in Japan, and I'm like, oh, I'm so much bigger than everybody else. But you know, as I walk up, I mean, this is a full-grown man in his 40s, and he wasn't small. You know, he was a man. And I come up, and she's holding him back. And she sees me coming. I come up there, and I'm standing, and I think the wait staff people are starting to notice me, and she sees me, and God, what does she do? She looks at me and she's like, no, fuck, this is the worst, right? Like she like looks at me and she's begging, you know, just no, like fuck off. She's basically like, fuck off, if I remember correctly. She's like, fuck the fuck off to me, not in a mean way, but just like that's the best thing to do. And she was right. She was right, because this guy, okay, so I'm the guy, here's the wait staff, I'm the guy, the wife is right here pushing him away and stuff, here I come, I'm standing there, I don't know, I put my hands on my hips, I don't remember, but I'm gonna put my hands on my hips, and I'm standing there like, what the fuck, and you know, she sees me and she's like, no, and the guy catches me in the corner of his eye. I will never forget the look on this man's face. It was a face of pure rage. He was a demon. He was a possessed demon. You know, like in Japanese anime and let me see if I can do it justice, okay? He turns around and he looks at me like let's try this out. I mean, that's nowhere near. He's just like, let me try it again. Take two. I can't even begin. But I've done it a couple times. Like he's like he looks at me with a contorted face like he's gonna fucking rip my goddamn head off. And I swear to God, I wasn't shitting my pants. I was just telling myself, what have I gotten myself into? What am I gonna do with this guy? And the only thing I could think of, and I didn't even think, I just pointed to the door. I just pointed to the door and I shook my head. Like, not, no, you're done, get the fuck out of here. Like, don't attack me. Please don't attack me. I mean, that wasn't the look on my face. I mean, I was just standing there staring right at him, going like this and praying that this man wasn't gonna just jump on me and I was gonna have a wrestling match with some Japanese guy, you know, around New Year's. And I just looked at that face for a little bit longer, and his wife and his kid was just standing back. The kid the whole time was just like, well, there goes dad again, or whatever. And wow, I mean, he finally turned around and walked out. They opened the door and he left. And the wait staff, they didn't pay any attention to me. They were just like, okay, back to business, whatever. I was looking at the guy on the way back to the table, and he still didn't give a shit. And I went back and sat down and thought about how, okay, you don't know who this guy is. He could be in the Yakuza or some shit. He could be calling his buddies. And I was like, we should probably go. I realized that after a little bit. But that was a moment I won't forget, when I almost got into a fight with a Japanese guy, a Japanese monster. I mean, he was drunk, and he found his rage button, and he was just pounding on it. And hopefully I helped a little bit, but I mean, I bet that happens all the time. So I'm talking to my friend, I'm like, what's going on with this? Why didn't they do anything? Why didn't the staff do anything? Why didn't anybody in the restaurant do anything? Because in America, it won't be tolerated. I mean, at a bar or something, like, I think the people at the bar would even help drag this guy out, you know, like, and the wait staff wouldn't fucking put up with that shit. No way. People are calling the police. Like, I don't know, but it seemed like an everyday occurrence to everyone else but me. So that was a wild one. But my friend was telling me, he's like, no, man, you know what they say in America, you know, the customer is always right. It's like that to the extreme in Japan. You go there and customers are babies. They don't get what they want, and they freak out, and it's just regular everyday crap over there. I mean, this was kind of an extreme example, but my friend was like, no, I see it all the time. Adults can be very childish when it comes to wait staff, or not wait staff, but just, yeah, the consumer side of things. And if you're on staff, you just do your best to just take it. And that's never flown. That's never flown. And it didn't flow that day for me, so I had to do something. Speaking of doing something, I should probably get this down. Should have been doing this while I was jibber jabbing. Alright. Drive shaft out, exhaust down. Man, I think we're right there. I think we are doing it. But sometimes I go to bed and I see that guy's face and I'm like, boy, I dodged a bullet that night. Because it probably would have been another little bit and the guy would have walked out. But who knows? Who knows? I definitely put myself in harm's way by walking over there. But I mean, how many times does it happen to you where you're like, oh man, I should do something, and you don't do anything, and then you kind of regret it, you know? You think about it, man, I should have done this, that was not right, or This person needed my help and I just stood there. I'll tell you what, that's happened to me. That's definitely. And maybe I'm getting old enough to where I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore. If I take a punch, I take a punch. But anyway, I guess it's a story. But that guy's face, I mean, there we go. That was a little closer. The fizz face. The Japanese fizz face. That's pretty good. Maybe I should make that a meme thing I do in my videos when I'm unhappy with when I'm extremely unhappy with something. What am I doing? I'm trying to take off the shifter linkage here. I got the static one in. I just need a 12, I believe. 12 on the top. To hold the nut. Oh, I took the bolt out. Hey.
Buy you some fruit to counteract your donut.
Some fruit? You are right on time with that.
You know, that should throw off your donut intake.
A tiny orange?
A tiny one. It's pretty good.
Smells great.
Mandarin or whatever. Sumo.
Yeah.
What are you doing to this guy?
I'm doing the clutch, pulling it down.
Ah.
I was just making a video telling a story about when I was in Japan and I confronted this angry Japanese dude. Did I tell you about that?
Like recent?
No, this was when I was in Japan a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
But he was drinking, he was hitting the staff of the restaurant. He was like
Oh shit.
freaking out. Like it was amazing.
Out of it.
Nobody was doing shit. There was a guy reading the paper like 6 feet from him, just not even giving a fuck. And me and my friend were over there. And I'm watching like, what's this guy's? Nobody in the restaurant even like literally gave a crap.
What was the staff doing?
They were just like bowing and
Oh yes.
exactly like, oh yeah, we're dipshits, we're so sorry or whatever.
We deserve this.
And then he was hitting him and I went up to him and I gotta like do, you know, like I gotta manage this situation. He's fucking up my lunch.
Yeah.
My dinner anyway. And his wife was like kind of pushing him back, and she saw me, and she's like, no, fuck off! Like you're the last thing, you know, that's gonna help this situation. And I was trying to understand that, and then the guy turns around and looks at me, and he looked at me like one of those Japanese like I'm ready to cut you in half, you know, and I like fear, right? Like I just pointed outside and went like this. Hopefully it's like, no, don't try it, buddy. But it was like, please don't hit me. Please don't attack me. Like this is not. I just want you out of here. You know, like, I don't know how to say that except for like pointing outside, shaking my head, and you know, a little bit later they were shuffling out of there. Thank God. So yeah, I was recording that story as if it's interesting, you know.
Well, it's a pretty crazy story. I was hanging out with some buddies of mine in Greece, and this was like in high school. And we were at a local like club, and we were outside, kind of taking a break. So it was like me, a friend like right across from me talking, and another friend like here on the side, and we're like chatting or whatever, and this guy like just comes out of nowhere and does this, and like faces me. He's like inches away from me, and he just kind of like walks through us, and he just stares at me.
Oh my God.
He's all like, you know, like fucking bold chested, and so he's like walking away. It's like, what the fuck? And as he's walking away, he like trips on a piece of concrete. We just started cracking up, and I think he kind of lost his.
He lost his.
But he just came out of like nowhere. It's just like, what the fuck? Trying to pick a fight or something?
And there's like a bunch of you, right? There's like.
Yeah, there's 3 of us. I mean, we weren't like harassing him. We were just like chatting, having some like 15-year-old kids, and
oh, you're
this guy's like
15.
30, you know?
Right. Yeah, there's people like that out there, looking for a fight. You know.
Yeah.
I watched a video the other day of a guy on a motorcycle. He's got his helmet cam on, and he's there. His girlfriend's on the back, and this guy gets out of a car that's behind them, and he's walking up to them. He's watching them. He's like, "What's up? What's up?" And the guy's like, "I'm gonna fuck you up." And he's like hitting him. He's like, the guy was being super rational. Like, no, like,
Yeah.
where did you even come from? Like, what do you? He probably did something. He probably cut him off.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
He probably split lanes or something.
Right,
you know,
right,
but-
exactly. He probably split lanes and they were at a light, and he's like,
Oh, dude.
he's like, I'm gonna fuck these guys up. He hits the girl, and the guy eventually gets him down and is like, no, you're gonna stop. Okay, I'm gonna let you up. And what are you gonna do? And he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, he was still going. And the guy was being super. He never swung at the guy.
Yeah.
He was being really cool about
passive,
it.
I guess.
Yeah, passive. I mean, because he knew all of it's on tape. You know, say the right things, do the right moves. But his girlfriend got hit. That would have pushed me over the edge quite a bit. But good for him. But like, you never know, man. You'll see somebody and they'll be on some drugs or something.
Yeah.
And something will go up their butt and
Like
they'll just be.
it's happened recently. Like these people like doing all these hit and runs down I-5. Have you heard any of that?
No, what's going on?
Like it's
hitting
happened
other
twice
cars?
in a couple of like months or so. Like since summer and now. I guess some lady was on drugs and like freaked out and she like hit 17 cars, like did hit and run like within like a few miles, like 5 miles or something like that. Between
While
like
driving on the freeway?
South Center and downtown Seattle.
Ugh.
And she finally like stopped when her car just wouldn't take it anymore.
Well, it's the holidays, right?
Yeah.
People are out there. Holy dude! That's the first time I've seen that. I was taking this bolt out, and from here, from the hole in the side of the socket, sparks were coming out.
Oh shit.
Like I was just taking it out, and it was like you know, flash from a barrel. There's like
wonder-
sparks coming out.
Is it like dust from something in there?
It's probably the rust, and there's 2 washers on here, so maybe they were like spinning against, you know, this.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before though. That was cool.
You should have gotten that on video.
There's lots of things I should get on video. Like when I catch bolts, like I'm like, oh, I gotta get one of those on film sometime.
You should just have a video going all the time.
I should. Actually, the video's going right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in it.
Yeah. I mean, I can cut it out if you don't want to be in it. But you seem
If
like.
I don't appeal to your video, you can do whatever you want.
Oh, are you kidding me? You're the highlight.
I like it.
As usual.
Yeah. What is this thing?
That came with a seal that I put on. I think a rear main seal for those BMWs that were in here.
Is this just a holder or is this the install?
The installer.
Oh,
both.
the installer.
It's both for sure.
The holder and the holder. You doing anything for Christmas?
I don't know. No big plans yet. What about you?
Nothing. Hang it at home. Get work done at home. I picked up
Prostitute?
I picked up a prostitute. It was 50% off. No, it's what is it called? A farmer's sling, which is like just a giant beam of wood. It's like Douglas fir.
Uh-huh.
But it was at Dunn Lumber for like 50% off because I guess there was like a crack in it or something like that. So it's not really structural, but I figured I'd put it in our bedroom, like over where the closet space is, and have it be exposed. But it's $50, and it's like 10 feet long and like probably like 6 inches wide and 10 inches tall. It's pretty crazy. Like solid.
Did you see the electrical work that, what's his name? I always forget. He put the electrodes for the
Oh yeah, for
the microwave electrodes
yeah.
on the wood and burn. That is
Crazy.
so awesome. What's his name again?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. I like that guy.
Nicholas.
Seems like a solid guy.
No, I mean crazy in a good way.
Crazy talented.
He made like tentacle finger gloves or whatever. So he made it like his prototype, but it's he cut down a bunch of dowels and ran a bunch of like string and stuff. So he attaches it to his fingers, and then he can move them with his fingers. And each one's like probably like a foot long.
What?
Next time you see him, you should ask him to show it to you.
Show me your hentai hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also talking about building wooden swords, like just elaborate out of like beautiful wood.
Yeah.
Toy wooden, swords. And then I was like, yeah, use those things as your backdrop, with the burnt wood.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And he, and I said, if you're looking for a buyer, for stuff like this,
for wooden swords.
I'm in the market for a nice.
Well, I told him when that one dentist was over here with his beamer or whatever he is. The dentist, right? Or the M3, the new one, the blue one?
He is a veterinarian.
Oh, vet.
Vet, don't forget, he's a vet. Not a vetivore, but he fixes puppies.
Yeah. I guess they get paid pretty
Oh
well.
yeah, he does really, he's in South Lake Union, so.
Yeah.
I think it was transmission.
Anyways, when he was over here, I was like, oh, you should take that thing over there and try to sell it to the guy. He's got all sorts of money.
What, the tentacle hands?
No, his board. I think he came over that night with his burnt board.
Oh, with his burnt board? He did. Yeah, he came over.
Bring it over.
And I was saying, I want to buy it.
Pretty cool.
It's super cool. He acted like he hadn't even thought of it. That's funny that you mentioned that, because he was like, oh really? Like I don't know. I was like, man, you got a future in just selling these on Craigslist.
So I mean, clear them and experiment and whatever he comes out with.
Jesus, am I missing a bolt or something? Or is this thing just
Fused?
Yeah, it's very, very possible.
Ryan still hasn't done his clutch.
Well, he's getting his money worth, right?
I guess so. Just wait until his car just won't move. Then he'll have 2 dead cars.
This one, they brought it in for just like, hey, give us a checkup. And as soon as I got in it and felt just how high the clutch pedal was, I was like, you need a clutch. I took it on a test run and I was like, it is right at the edge.
Yeah.
Like if you just lean your foot a little bit on the clutch pedal while you're accelerating, it's just slipping. And then I drove it on the freeway and just under boost, it was slipping. And I was like, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of minutes. Because I mean, this much power on a clutch.
Yeah,
who knows how long it's been going on.
I could shift Ryan's truck without putting in the clutch.
Yeah, those dowel pins are just ruby red with rust. Without
putting in the clutch, I was just like, boop, boop.
Yeah, you can do that with timing, like
the
right gear ratios.
Yeah.
Right engine speed.
I used to do that on my dad's truck all the time.
Oh, I'm sure he appreciated that.
Well, I mean, his truck was long overdue for everything.
For everything. It was on last night.
Bought it new back in '89, and he only did I think he ended up doing the clutch and a tune-up and stuff last year.
For the first time?
Pretty sure. I don't remember it since then, or before then, being in the shop.
Holy crap, what kind of truck is that?
It's a Nissan pickup.
Yeah, Nissans.
Those little Nissan
trucks have got my attention. There was a...
D21s, I think, are the body code. They're super boxy. They just look like a 4-year-old Druid truck.
Those are my favorite. My grandpa had one like that. But there was a Nissan Xterra, I think, and I was like, holy shit! It was like a V6. It was peppy, quick.
The supercharged one.
And it was lifted. I mean, it wasn't lifted. It was just high up. It had the oh shit handlebars on it. And I was like, this is a contender. And I think one of my my subscribers commented like, hey, have you thought about the Nissan? Nissan, I don't think it was a Pathfinder. I think it was Xterra is the right thing. Is that that's a Nissan?
It was like an SUV type?
Definitely an SUV.
Yeah.
And it was like pretty rugged.
Yeah, I think that.
It had all the 4-wheel drive stuff.
I think the Xteras were based on it's basically the same as the Fronteras or whatever, the pickup trucks.
Yeah.
But they just had a full SUV cab on it or whatever.
Good God. Oh. Some training oil. Yeah, it's fused, man.
Fused for good.
I hate to manhandle it like this. These motor mans actually feel kind of soft. But I might have to go around it with a blunt object or an air hammer or something and just try to free it up. Yeah, it's gonna get ugly.
It's gonna make the video R-rated.
Yeah, I've shown my genitals a couple times already. Yeah, I think it's gonna get nasty. Well, hey, thanks for the orange, and if you ever want a smoothie, give me some heads up, because man, that NutriBullet is just my favorite thing ever. And I just went to Trader Joe's and got some nuts and whatnot.
I do it with mine with like frozen berries.
So, this is what I had to do to separate the transmission. I had to use a chisel type air hammer bit. And I'm still working on it, but I've got a pry bar in there, which is a great start. So I still have a nut on there. And it's still just so much back torque, but at least now it can wiggle and jiggle and we can make this night complete. And it is still, yeah, I think this side, passenger side, is the one that's the real headache. But like I said, at least now I can wiggle and jiggle it. Let's go back underneath. And thanks, Demo, for stopping by. That was fun. Yep. That side, the pin is still flush. And this side, the pin is completely out of the engine side. It's stuck to the transmission side, which usually it's supposed to stick to the engine side and come out of the transmission side. So I'll spray this some more and then I'll wiggle and jiggle it some more. All right, it's taken some fuss and some fighting, but I think I've got this side out, that side out, and this transmission just might slide on it. It just might, if I do it just right. Now who's back talking? transmission fluid coming out. Who is back talking now? Maybe it's the... Let's try this. Pretty please. Holy crap. And it still doesn't want to come. Well, who's our hard-boiled egg now? How mad do I have to get at this transmission before it comes out? Could be 100% mad. Please don't fall on me, Gar. Well, you're out. Who's back top? Is it? Is it the turbo? Is it touching the turbo? No. Just that I had too much torque on it. And the tranny jack. What is the dealio? Is it the input shaft? Can't be the clutch. Who's responsible? Killing me. Killing me softly with his song, telling my whole. More fussing and fighting. Well, it is absolutely stuck on the throwout bearing. So I went in there and I lubed it and I moved it as much as I can. It does not want to move at all. I push it in, I pull it out, and it's just stuck on that arm, that rocker. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so I just took out this cap right here for access to the clutch fork pivot arm bearing thingamajig that's right here. And so hopefully the transmission comes out now. I think this should help free it up. So it's just right in front of the clutch slave cylinder location. There's this 10mm Allen that you take out this cap, and then you thread in a bolt, 8mm threads, 10mm head into here, and then you pry it out, and hopefully the transmission comes out. So let's have a look, huh? Come on. May the gods help me. Please, are you guys praying for me? Please, sir, come out. I think we're getting there. No? I beg and I plead. Oh. Ah, that's satisfying. That's a great feeling. It's an orgasmic moment right there. Oh yeah, baby. That's what I needed. Give it to me. Give it to me. down periscope. And what a mother. Yeah, this WRX clutch is a different animal. Alright, so transmission is out. Let's take a look at the clutch. And I got my sweet cat branded light here. I'm gonna see if it'll hang out and give me some light. Look at that. Look at this. Shining some light on the subject. So this model year WRX, it looks like they put in a pull type clutch, which so the fork slides in here into the release bearing, and then it gets pushed and it actually pulls the pressure plate off, which erg. Why you do me like that? Anyway, looks like we need to just take off the pressure plate and then have a look at the flywheel, pull off the flywheel, do the rear main seal, maybe reseal the plate that's back there. But first, let's do some unboxing to see what new parts look like. Alright, well, here's the new stuff. Got a rear main seal, of course, but let's see how they got it inside the box. ZD clutch kit, tech information. Here we go. That explains it. Study before assembly. Snap out process. Remove bell housing back approximately. Insert screwdriver and twist. So you can just pull it back, stick a screwdriver up there, an extended screwdriver, but there's no way you can access this. You know, with in this car, you gotta take the. So yeah, taking the release fork out. This doesn't even look right. Well. Further examination, that's generic wear and tear stuff. Let's look at the new parts. So we got our centering tool, our pilot bearing, some lube. Let's see what's in the box. Shiny stuff. Look at this. Look at this packaging. Standard clutch disc. Look how big these are for this car. That's impressive. So here's our push style pressure plate and release bearing. Yeah, it's got a fancy snap ring. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. And then it just has a lip on it. That's it. Goes in there, pops right in. Good time. So yeah, essentially it says to pry this out, and that's just not going to happen. So you have to take the release fork lever pivot out, and then to install it, you just install the lever and everything like you would on the transmission, and then you just snap it in. So you pull the arm in the reverse of how it releases the clutch to just snap it in, and you're good to go. So that's pretty much some bull if you ask me. I am, why is this a pull transmission? 99% of the stuff that I do is push, and it just comes right apart. But I mean, I think I've done like a BMW, like a, I don't know, an E90 M3 that was this style back in, you know, back in the day. But all right. All right. Well, point of view time. Let's go ahead and remove our pressure plate. Give me that. Not gonna reuse these parts, so just come on out of there. Please, thank you very much. Who else? Who else wants some? Nobody's up there. Last one. Not coming out. Probably should have got my bigger pry bar out. Yeah. Here comes the clutch assembly. There's our flywheel. It's gotten hot. It has gotten hot. And it does have some grooves in it. It does have some grooves in it. Well, I should probably look at replacing that then. Yeah, and here's why it has grooves in it. Like I said, this guy came in, he wasn't even worried about his clutch. It's at the rivets. This is the metal I was talking about. I just did some BMW clutches, and they were slipping, and they weren't even at this point of metal on metal. This side too, even, look at that. Just on this one piece. That's incredible. Yeah, this is gonna need a flywheel. Because of that groove, you don't want to put in a new clutch disc on that not flat material. So it either needs to be machined or replaced. So I'm gonna go look into the replacement side, since a thinner flywheel isn't necessarily good for longevity. Yeah. So let me do that right now. Okay, got a flywheel on the way. So let's pop off this one. Have a look at the rear main seal area. Flywheels are very heavy, so don't let it fall on you. Might have to pry it out. Oh, it's moving. Here she comes. And there's the rear main seal and that little access plate. I like to reseal the access plate. So yeah, got a nice healthy groove in it from its metal to metal situation here on the rivets. So we'll be replacing this. And the pilot, ooh, the pilot bearing is rough. You hear that? That's awful. Got a new one of those. Wonder if the new flywheel is gonna come with that. So we can go ahead and remove the old rear main seal. This is not leaking, but I like to reseal these plates right here because they can leak. And you'll think, oh god, I got a rear main seal leak, I just did the clutch, but then it'll be that. And then I use the Toyota goo on that. Also, there's an O-ring here. Sometimes I pull this off and just put Toyota goo there as well. Because I don't like leaks from inside here. I really, really, really don't. And look at all the clutch material buildup. I mean, just... So apparently it's kind of funny. This customer, his girlfriend learned how to drive a clutch on this car pretty recently, and I think there's a bunch of... Look at this right here. Look at this cluster. Can you see that? This cluster of clutch material. Oh, that's so funny. I should save this to show to him. There's your clutch material clump. That maybe your wife is responsible for. I think it was well worth it. And the new clutch should last a good long time. So we'll get rid. Look at this. Oh, don't eat it. Don't breathe it. Gnarly. So we'll get a bunch of it off, and then maybe we'll spray it down and pull out the seal. Actually, it might be wise to do these plates before I do the seal, so that none of the gunk gets in there from when I'm cleaning it. All right, and I use my impact screwdriver for such duties. Yeah, who's gonna work best there? Got all my hammers out. One fits good. That one fits golden. One. Two. Three. Ow, four. 7, 8. 8 screws. I don't know why I'm counting. I count because probably I try to remember tightening stuff, right? So if I'm doing lug nuts, you know, and it's a 5 lug, I'm counting down, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I move on to the next wheel. So, and also when you do CrossFit, you're constantly counting. I used to do that. Not in a while though. Got expensive, got injured, got time consuming. Like I just wasn't going enough. This thing is heavy. Why don't I use a Philip's head? Come here, Philip. Come here, Philip. Nice lightweight screwdriver. Not lightweight because cheap, lightweight because functional. Don't lose these. Did I just pass up an electric screwdriver to... It's all good. Stamina, baby. Work on your stamina. Being a mechanic, you sure do test yourself quite constantly. Getting dirty. All right, so those are all out. Pop them out to see what we're dealing with here. And you see it moving ever so slightly. Caught it. Look at that little O-ring. I might have a replacement for it. I'm not going to count on it. And see this plate? It's just in there with goo. It's just a precise fit. Look how little goo there is in between the mating surfaces. I mean, that tells you that it's such a precise fit. And you can get new. You can replace these, but I'll just re-goo it. You can buy replacements, but ain't nobody got time for that. So we'll get that real clean. We'll get these both real clean. And bust out the Scotch-Brite. Clean up those surfaces really well as well. Yep. Scruff it up, spray it down. See that just coming right off? We'll get up in there and look real closely before we put it back together. Make sure we got all the crap out of there. But that's what engine oil filters are for. No, you can't count on engine oil filters to take care of all this stuff, but it's nice to know they're there. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. Nice, and put some pressure on it. Yep. Pretty spiffy. Maybe just a little more elbow grease invested. Nice rough surface for the goo to stick to. I mean, access panels, right? So you can get to here and here for disassembling the engine and assembling the engine. Right. Yeah, we can pop that rear main seal soon too. And if you have an automatic, you pull this out and get your bell housing or your what's that thing called? A torque converter? Torque converter bolts out. Scrub it and blast it with some brake clean. Just to get the gunk off. You can also make short work of it with a disc, an abrasive disc. Not too abrasive, but since there's such minimal goo on here, quick run around with the Scotch-Brite gets the job done just right. Get out of here, get out of here. Oh yeah. Sorry if the head cam is a little shaky right now. I imagine it might be. All right, let's pull out the remaining seal. We'll use tiny here. That thing is hard. Pause. Ugh. How about a bigger flathead screwdriver? Thought I got one. I did get one. There it is. Yeah, this thing is cooked. There it is. A little twist. And she's mine. Yeah, that thing is stiff. Very stiff. Look at this. The buildup of the grease on here. Fascinating, right? We can actually use that to apply the new one. I think I remember pulling off the old one. The old one is, or the new one is not lubed. So we'll put a bit in there. Make sure you get this edge real nice and lubed because this is the way it applies. So we can also use this one to tap in the new one. So I just flatten it out a bit. So if that surface is on the new one, it won't damage the seal. So this should be pretty straightforward. New seal, old seal. And for reference, that's how soft the new seal is. Ah. Don't roll the lip. So I'll get the bottom part of the lip started and then kind of twist it and push the rest of it in. Started. I'll hold one end and lightly tap. And I think that's doing the trick. With the left hand. Huh. It's back talking quite a bit. Is it not started on this edge? The seal lip looks good. It's nice and started. But I'm actually having to hit it a bit harder than I would expect. I think it's the first time I've gotten out this seal, this hammer to put it in a seal, but it's working. And it's pretty even at this point. Man, it's a tight fit. And it's not really rolling on the outside or the inside yet. But man, this is not the technique I usually use for putting in a seal, but you guys get to witness a technique in development. So my old seal is here. We'll tap and see if tapping is still a thing. Yeah, see, we're moving great. There we go. We're on our way to victory here. One baby tap at a time. I'm gonna get it close to where we want it. Down here. And then we'll do this corner. Nice and flush. There we go. So I'm okay with that there. I'm okay with it to there. Starts to protrude here, starts to protrude here. So we need to sink it back down. The rest of the way along. Still sticking up a bit. There. Nice and flush. Nice and flush. Maybe just a couple more for the road. Beautiful. Nice and flush. Sticking out right from here to here, just ever so slightly. Perfectly flush up here. Sometimes I like to set them in a little bit, but this thing went in so tight. I'm not worried about that whatsoever. Okay, that's beautiful. Really happy with that. All right, now it's time for the Toyota glue application. Got some old stuff, some new stuff. And since I'm kind of anal about these things not leaking, I think I'll apply it to both surfaces. We'll apply it to this surface. and the engine surfaces. And then when they squeeze together, alright, so I'll save that. I'll spread that around with my finger once I've done the engine, so that I'm not just getting this stuff all over everything, because it's so messy. So messy. It's just so messy. Yeah, and you don't want to have any oil in there whatsoever, so because this goo doesn't really stick if there's oil. Keep the cap nice and clean so that it don't cross thread it on there. Is that cross? There we go. All right. Now spread it all around so that there's no gaps. Talking to my girl again, it seems like she's coming around. Man, the ups and the downs all around. It's unbelievable. Do people who get married and are married for 20 years, do they fight and argue, or do they avoid each other? Or have you seen those miracle relationships that just last forever? My theory is that you get about 4 to 6 years of good relationship, and something just always goes stale, dry, amiss. You know, something just always changes. But every once in a while, you see those couples that are married forever, and ever and ever and ever, forever ever. Well, looks like a little oil is there, but that's why we kick both sides. All right, now kind of thinking about putting some Loctite on these, but maybe not, since we have goo and a hammer. So let's see. Let's start it. And what do you say, that top left corner? Thought you'd agree. All right, one started. Before we set it against it, because we don't want to smear it around. There we go. So we've got 2 started. So it should be very much aligned once I sandwich it together for a nice, even mating surface and seal. And we'll do crisscross with this. It's got enough time to breathe and set. But this engine's not going to start for a long time until this stuff is already all set up nicely. And that's another great thing about this sealant, is that you can set it up and start your engine really quickly after you do so. It's really a miracle. Love it. Okay. Now this tab goes on the right. Please don't drop it. Just hang there like an ornament. And there we go. Cool. So I'll get these in by hand and then I'll change my gloves out because this goop sticks to everything. I think I mentioned that. Just felt it make a bit of contact. Just a bit of contact. Yep. Just a bit of contact. Right. Nice happy trees. Nice happy screws. Look at these happy screws. They're just there. Existing. Just being happy. Enjoying their role in life. Trying not to complain. Trying to do what they're told. Bob Ross, is that his name? Oh, yeah. Okay. New gloves. My midnights. Do like my midnight gloves, baby. So we got mostly tightening to do here, and then we're rolling. I really like this. I can really grab it, and I actually feel like I can get these pretty much as tight as I ever want them to be, but I'm gonna tap them in. Give them some love taps for insurance purposes. Yeah. That's what we do around here. We keep it. We don't want cars coming back. So where's my little hammer? There you are. Is my little hammer big enough, you think? Probably. That feels like I'm giving it some wax and it's definitely moving. And this little hammer gives me more room to swing. You notice I put my hammer sideways to loosen that fastener when I was using the bigger hammer. So all right. Okay. Let's have a look at what we have here. Look at that. We'll grab my fancy schmancy snap-on light. Have ourselves a good look. So yeah, nice and dirty, just like we like it. How's my shaft looking? Pause. Feels smooth. Man, this light is just not. There we go. Yeah, it was rubbing on there dry for a while, but it's very smooth. It actually looks like, oh no, you can feel on the bottom. On the bottom, you can feel a little groove. All right, well, let's clean it. Clean it like we mean it. Yeah, let's give that a test fit. It's gonna go in there like so. Oh yeah, there's plenty of wiggle room. I don't think we want a ton, but we definitely don't want it seizing up, that's for sure. So I'm gonna lube the crap out of all of this stuff. bit concerning. But with a bunch of grease in there, I think it'll be okay. I mean, I don't think we want to replace this. I don't think we want to spend our lives replacing that. I also want to clean up this threads here, because that's detrimental to clutch life and performance, as that's what the disc slides on. I mean, it doesn't slide much, but it needs to be not stuck in there. So how we can better ensure that is by using a metal brush and getting in between all the threads and scraping away. And I'm not a huge fan of cleaning every inch of this, you know, as long as there's not a bunch of residual crap. You know, it's the environment that it's in. We also have to clean inside these the pivot for this the clutch arm here. That's gonna sit in there like so. And it's not super detrimental that it's extra clean, but it is where it sits in the clutch fork. So we'll wanna as long as it slides freely in here when we install stuff. That's what really matters here. All right, so all of that is nice and clean. We're gonna make sure that our arm is clean in here and lubed. Same thing with the forks here. Also, this is where the slave or the master slave pushes on the arm. We want that super clean. Oh yeah, there we go. Clean. Stick my pinky up in there. Get it stinky. Get the middle finger stinky, or the pinky stinky. All right. Oops. There we go. That's the technique. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what we like. All right. Majority of that's clean. Majority of this is clean. I'm pretty happy. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. So yeah, so we're gonna lube everything. Lube everything. What I like to do with the clutch disc is figure out what grease I'm gonna use. This is good stuff. And put some, never on the clutch disc. And if we accidentally do that, then we'll be sure to clean it properly. But I'd like to smear it along these. And then I'll leave the disc dry. And then what I'll do, and I don't play by the rules, you know, I bet there's a lot of people out there that are like, no, don't do that. No, don't do this, that, and the other, but this is what I like to do, and that's what I do. So I stick it on there, and I spin it around, see how it's collected the excess on the splines. Then I can clean it off of here. But this ensures that where the mating surface is going to have grease. Alright, so I do all this, spin it around. Love to hear your guys' comments on stuff. I think it's really fascinating to get opinions and techniques from other people is really good. Nobody's one opinion is right. It just might be more right than another. But some of them can be wrong. Or just very not the best option. So keep that in mind. And that can be, yeah, I think it's cool that a lot of people that watch my channel are some sort of technician or enthusiast or hobbyist or just interested in, you know, how things go together to come apart, or what cars might be in the shop, or, you know, it seems like everybody likes tools on my channel. I think that's how most people find my channels is, you know, either the tool truck videos or the toolbox tour. That's how the channel started. I started making videos, and then I, you know, just about cars that I'm working on and working on cars, and then I made a video when the Snap-on truck came, and YouTube must have picked up that video and put it in everybody's recommended list because that video got super popular out of nowhere. And then now it seems like most of the people that are interested in my channel are, you know, as soon as that happened, people were like, hey, make a toolbox tour now. What's inside your toolbox? I didn't even really want to do that. Like, hey, that's my toolbox. I'm not even interested in what's in there. You know, I look at that stuff every day. Why do I gotta get in there and show you guys? But enough people asked me, you know, they said, hey, do a toolbox tour next. Toolbox tour. And I was like, all right. The people have their demands. Give the people what they want. And I've actually had a lot of fun making toolbox tour videos. So I'll be doing more of those. I think this box is done. I'm up to here. So I'll finish off this side of the box, and then I'll do this other side of the box. And then I will organize my whole boxes and probably rearrange stuff and do another video on when it comes to tools. I think a lot of people will appreciate that. That's not how that goes. Try again. All right. So we'll get this oriented someday. There it is. Man, I wonder if we can get our release bearing, which I just had installed. I just lube any kind of mating surface. This one is super important. This one is super important. This one is super important. Also, I like to get in here because you'll have squeaks if you don't. I wonder if you guys can see what I'm looking at. I really don't know. I hope so. So I'm not gonna lube this. I might, yeah. gonna lube that. But you're nice and lubed. Let's lube up these guys thoroughly, because there's a lot of friction there, a lot of pressure. And I might need to put this on before I put this thing in. Yeah, there's definitely a sequence here. So what do you guys think? Fisheye lens for the head mounted stuff probably is best, because wide angle is a little bit limited in the vertical. Booshao. And there we have it. So the pressure plate's going to be in here along the flywheel. We're going to put on the transmission, then we're going to push this down this way, click, it'll snap into the pressure plate where it will live in infinity. All right, that's a really good fit. Look at that, no wiggle room. God, that feels like butter. I love it. Very happy about that. Lube this up because this is a mating surface that we just need to go in when we install our stuff. All right, now we need a flywheel. All right, we got our flywheel. Let's check it out. So got one from Subaru. How do you do? Subaru Technica International. That's STI. If you don't know. Look at this. Ooh. This isn't an STI flywheel. I don't mean to get you too excited. There's our part numbers and whatnot. Into the pile. Yeah, a nice piece of styrofoam for the mating surface. Look how flush it is, how pretty it is. Yeah, not a bad price on this thing. Feel better about having a new one, but you can resurface it with a lathe. You got to pull out these dowels, resurface it, and then put it back together. But with resurfacing, you get the chance of it warping or not being straight. So I much prefer a new one, especially on a heavy-duty vehicle like a hardcore WRX. All right, and look, it comes with a pilot bearing. I don't even have to install that. I'm a little disappointed, but nice and flush on the inside. That's how that goes together. It looks like it's a two-piece. Cool. But all right, you are ready to go. So we'll have another look and make sure that we are boobies. Yes, we are boobies under here. Should I mess with that? No, I'm not even gonna touch it. Here's the case, the split in the case. All the way up and down. Cool. Yeah, we're good to go. We can plant this flywheel up there. Look at the thread count on these things. It's like a fine set of satin sheets there. And I'm gonna put in some thread locker because this is a red thread locker. All right. Because I don't want these to back out. Have you guys ever seen a bolt that's backed out from a flywheel? It's not pretty. Just a dab. Just the tiniest, smallest, huge glob of Loctite. Because I don't want to have to think about it at night. I want them just to go in, be tight, not even think about budging an inch, budging a millimeter, bunching a smidge, backing off. What am I talking about? I'm talking too much. Just enjoy the show. All right, so 14 millimeter is the socket that I need. It's right here. And there isn't a trigger wheel on here, so I don't have to worry about orientation. And there isn't a dowel pin, so I think you can just put it up any old way you like. So let's try that. Yar. Boom. Nice and easy. Look at that. Everything's lining up. Looking good. So I wonder if I'm going to have to make this a multi-part video. I'm going to try to upload the whole thing. See if YouTube will let me. And then see if people watch it. See if people want to hang out with me for a complete clutch job. That would be a miracle. And even if you're still with me, that's a miracle. If you've skipped around, then welcome to this point in the video. Maybe you're trying to do some research on doing a clutch in these. There's a lot of good information on YouTube. Just search. I got better at putting in tags into my videos. Like, you know, Flywheel, clutch, Subaru, so that if somebody's out there like, how do I do a Subaru clutch? They can watch me struggle like, oh, that's what you got to take off to get the transmission out. You know, like it was key right here. You know, that's good information to know, because you'll get the tranny out and it'll get stuck and you'll be like, what's going on? Well, the only thing that could be is this setup. And that's what it was, because it's a pull type. A push type would just slide right off, but you got to take this assembly out. Anyway, all right, we got those started. I'm going to turn my gun all the way down. I'm going to go around it. And the compressor is low pressure, so I feel good about that, nice and even. So I'll let the pressure build, and then I'll go around it again. So that was under 80 psi. So I'll let it build up and then I'll hit it again. And since those bolts aren't large, but they have a ton of threads, I think that'll do it. And I know that because I've gone around and I've checked torque on stuff after it's been hammered or put on with the air gun. and you get a good sense of what you're getting out of the tool. But let's see where we're at. Currently, look at this mess. Look at this mess. It's an unorganized mess. So what do you think? My guess is about 40, 45 is where it might be at, and that might be the spec. Let's see. Wow. There's 30. We might be above that. Let's see. How do I want to hold this? Janky, Noah, janky. I haven't done that in a while, but all right, we know it's over 40. We're currently over 35. Let's see, I can hold the crank. But now that the compressor is, I think, around 120, it should really give us some, yeah, we're at 130, 135. So on the lowest setting on this gun, it's gonna put us pretty high. And I don't know if I want that. Well, there's 35. Let's look up the spec. Go over to the computer here. Okay, looks like it's about 50, 53. So, where are we at then? Where are we at? Okay, so it's about, got it to move there. It's about 30, 38. So that's 45. So, come on, baby. Why are you tripping? $53. Wow, they're actually pretty close to 53 just with that little gun blast. That low PSI gun blast. Need an extension. It's probably, yeah, these are at 53. These last three that I've looked at. Just checking. Oh, all right. That's all of them. I already checked this one, but for insurance purposes. Okay. Satisfied with that, he moves on. To pressure plate. Now, pressure plates do not need Loctite whatsoever. Because there's pressure. There's built-in, this is the world's best washer, lock washer. So those are 12s. We'll probably use the air ratchet with the 12 on it. Which my 12 is right here. To quickly dispatch this setup. All right, now we get our clutch disc and our clutch disc tool. Here's our clutch disc tool. Our clutch disc is over here. And you have two different sides. You have the spring side, which always goes towards the flywheel. Well, I'd say 90%. See, this side, transmission side, TM side. I don't know if you can see that. TM side, made in Japan, XZD. Doesn't have anything on this side. So transmission, flywheel, pressure plate, transmission side. So it goes towards the pressure plate. Confirmed. So we'll also want to lube up. Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus! Put a little grease in the pilot bearing, just so that it slides in real nice. Okay, so put our tool through like so. Then we'll start the clutch disc into the pilot bearing, which there it is. Then we'll find the dowel pin, which is right here. We'll rotate the pressure plate to the dowel pin points. Then we will do it again because we're not seeing our bolt hole through there. So this is definitely keyed to a degree. There we go. And I'm seeing a bolt hole there, a bolt hole there, a bolt hole there. I think we're good. So we'll get a couple of these started so that it doesn't fall on us. All right. Now the idea is that we want this as centered as possible, and there's not very much play there whatsoever. So no matter how we tighten this up, I think it'll be centered enough to get our transmission installed up there, which is great. But I always try to find the middle point and hold it there while I get these tight enough to put a little bit of pressure on the clutch itself. So right there is where I was saying, all right, I feel like that's centered, and then now you can't move this. Well, you still can actually, but right there, because it's only finger tight. I'm just getting these started by hand. I start most of my bolts by hand because I do not like cross-threading stuff, especially stuff like this. You cross-thread these guys and your life is just so miserable. I don't ever cross-thread stuff anymore. Knock on wood. Because once you say stuff like that, you start cross-threading shit. That's my number one thing that I don't do. If I'm worried that it's being cross-thread, I immediately back off and double-check everything and ask why. Why are you giving me resistance? What's going on here? Is it not oriented? Trying to piss me off. I see threads. There we go. No? Oh, this thing has me tripping. Maybe I'm getting tired. Maybe my finger strength is just not good. What the? I see threads. I see threads. Yeah, seriously, my hands are getting tired from all this. Okay, that one's started. I think it's just maybe cocked out a little bit because this is the last ones that I'm doing. Maybe that's why. And then this is a deep socket, so the bolt sits in further, deeper, so the threads aren't going into the flywheel. All right. Now we'll go around. All right, just made contact. Just made contact. Just made contact. And I'm talking about against these springs here. Just made contact. All right, now they all should be more or less equal around the perimeter. Then I'll just, do the equal amount in a cross pattern to save time. Or I could just watch how many times this spins. 3/4 of a spin or something. What am I at? There we go. So. And we still got a bit of a ways to go, but might want to start doing it by hand here. But I think we are very close to being flush. All right. And my hand strength is like getting fatigued. All right, so are you? Nope, it's still moving. Oh, that one just seated. That one just seated. Nope. That one just seated. That one just seated. There we go. Okay, now I'll go around them all. I can take this out now. Put it back in, take it out, put it back in, take it out. Don't get any ideas. All right. Super tight. And once they're all seated, it doesn't need to be crisscross pattern anymore. That's just when it's going, when you're running it down, so you don't put more torque on, like way more torque on this side than this side on your way in, and so that it goes in straight. Insurance. Insurance, and I think I've already tightened this one, but yes, insurance. Let's just get some more insurance here. Let's make sure we're covered. Okay, there we go. Okay. And there it is, the clutch assembly. It is time for a transmission. Look at that. Got one right there. I'll probably prop up the engine from the oil pan to give it a better angle for us. And just do a couple more checks here so that I feel good about everything. I'm gonna put my boat back on. Gonna put this plug back in. But for now, I think I'm gonna take a quick break because my hands are tired. All right, I am back from my little break here. Got my hand strength back. Let's put in the transmission, shall we? see. Come on, baby. Pump it up. Pump it right on up. So we'll get it lined on up. Boom, boom, boom. Pretty close to the subframe here. All right, gotta take my light down now since we are close. Let's see how we do here. Okay. Now, let's get this thing installed. See how lucky I can be sliding this thing in there. And all the way back. Like I said previously, I'm going to want to angle the engine a little bit. Just a smidge. Wood block so I don't bend the oil pan. Don't bend it too much. Just a bit of an angle, and I'll also stabilize it while I'm engaging. A little higher, a little higher. Push it in. Get started on this stud. I believe we're there. You guys can ride along on the tool cart. Let's see. A little bit more light here. Started on this stud. How about we lower it down, put some angle on it. There we go. That's what we needed to do. We're definitely on that stud. Definitely on that stud. Now watch this stud put in this transmission. I think I am really reliant on the engagement of the clutch disc now. Whew, I do believe. Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? Ah. Rawr. We got a good angle. Maybe too much angle on the engine. Let's back it off just a bit. Give it another shot. Clutch. Check the clutch fork. Plenty of play there, so that's not our deal. We're looking at the splines into the clutch, I believe. more force here. Well, I can almost see the studs poking through. This side is super flush and the other side is really close, so I believe we're pretty close, so I'm going to try to manhandle it a little bit more, and then I'm going to try a few bolts in there just for angle. We made a little bit more progress. Get this out of my way so I can jiggle it some more. Come on, baby. Go to your home. Alright. More angle on the engine and more manhandling. Here we go. No. I feel my gloves just ripped there, ripped open. Yeah. Well. Now I want to rotate the engine. While I do that, I got my ladder here. And I'm going to rotate engine. And then get back on it. So I'll get my breaker bar. Long one. Socket. Oh. Limited access here. Alright, rotating the engine. Now it's really nice to have somebody rotate the engine while you push to try to engage the clutch splines, but sometimes I just rotate the engine. Get back over here. Push, and then rotate the engine some more, and then push, and it goes in. So, let's hope for the best. Oh, there it is. That felt really good.
Hey man.
Hey, good. How's it going?
Dude, I catch you at a decent time.
Oh, well, I'm just engaging the transmission, and I think I just got it.
Oh, wow.
So you're my lucky star.
Wow. WRX.
Yep, WRX clutch job I'm doing here.
Oh, jeez.
Yep, and I just got the splines engaged, which was pretty much one of the toughest parts of the job. Yeah, that feels great. Okay. Well, let's get you taken care of.
All right.
All right. I think he's all set. I think I'm just about all set here. Get a couple bolts started here. Whew. And then it's just button up time. Let's see, there'll be, looks like I should go in further. Let me do some more rotating up here. I think I still got the tool on the crankshaft. Don't start the car with that on there. Alright. Okay. Put some slack here so I can. Oh, is it not? Oh, I'm back. I'm back to where I was. I thought I was all hunky-dory and golden. Maybe I need to find somebody to rotate the engine for me. Let me see if I can get a hand from somebody. Well, Subarus will break down, but
I think that's true of any car.
they just, yeah, they're less likely to leave you stranded. Like, they'll have problems, but. So you see the gist up there?
Yeah, do you want me just...
Yeah, just rotate the engine. There it goes.
Is that it?
That was it.
Well, that was easy.
That was exactly what I was looking for. It's just doing the two things at the same time,
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
which makes it hard for a one-man operation. But yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. That is great. Yeah, you can pull that out of there if you want.
I did.
Thank you.
Figured it's probably not good for it to land on your.
Land on my face or start the engine with that thing hooked up. I think I've done that before.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it'd be kind of fun to try.
Like I was testing an engine and I was like trying to find top dead center and I was you know, back then I was like
Dude, yeah, it's like bam, bam, bam.
trying to get a bunch of this stuff done. I'm gonna diagnose this car like boom, and the next thing you know you're running a car without oil in it or or starting a car with a tool connected to the crankshaft.
Dude, it's just like.
Oh, it popped right off. It went clank and then it popped right off. Yeah. But then you got to check the bolt, make sure it's still tight.
Make sure you didn't put a giant hole in the radiator.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, no. With stupid mistakes like that, I've been really lucky.
Yeah, I've caught myself like about to do stupid shit like that, like about to like throw oil back in the engine after like the plug is, you know, out, and I'm like, wait, stuff like that.
Yeah, I did that yesterday. It was the last thing that I was doing yesterday was changing a buddy's oil and I was filling it up and I looked at the dipstick and I was like, I should be seeing oil on the dipstick. And then I just went, no! I slapped myself on the head because I knew exactly what I was forgetting right there.
I did that with a fryer once. In the kitchen.
How do you do that with a fryer?
Well, I cleaned it and I went to pour all the oil or new oil in the fryer and I left the valve open.
Ah.
So it just poured all over the floor.
On
The thing in the kitchen is like, you know, stoves and stuff don't really come out that easily.
Oh, that makes sense.
Bunch of like oil all up in there.
Well, thanks for the help, man.
Yeah.
That is mega appreciated. Appreciated. Jigga, 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 jigga. What I do. I like this light.
It's a magnet, doesn't it?
Ooh, magnet would be super helpful, but it's got enough going on, I think. Actually, the battery's getting low. Like, it doesn't last with one clutch valve. I mean, granted, it takes me forever to do anything. But, it's still better than nothing. Yeah, these dowel pins are a mother. Alright, Demo. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it. Alright. So, it's in there. All the way in there. That's how we like it. Okay, so there's the turbo. Cut out. spun that thing up. It feels good. Yeah, so I'm basically all set here. It's just gonna be buttoning stuff up, like putting in back all these parts that we took out. So drive line, subframe, that piece, the intercooler, the starter, the axles. Yep. And then we're all set. And then we just button it up, and it should be off to the races. So let me know if you liked this long play style video, and I'll make it a thing to put out one of these once a week if people care about this. If you don't like it, go ahead and show me. You know, leave a comment. Don't hit a thumbs down. Just leave a comment if you don't like it. That's much more useful to me than a thumbs down. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this long video. So what else should I say? Thanks for subscribing, all those things, you know. But all right, this is getting along. I don't know, how should I say goodbye properly? Let me think. What should I do?